Hi guys, the topic for this video is simplifying expressions. In other words, collecting like terms. So you can copy that down as your title. The date today is the 18th of January 2021. Um, before we go into simplifying expression, let's just quickly go through a few algebra terminologies. So a few algebra definitions that we must know. So a variable, you probably come across this word, a variable. What does a variable mean? A variable means something that can change and it's shown using a letter. And also add something that can change which is unknown and it's shown using a letter. Okay, write that down, please. For example, in 4xy, x is a variable and y is another variable. They can both change, they are both unknown, and so therefore they are both represented using a letter. Okay? You can copy down that example as well. What about a term? What is a term? A term is a multiple of a letter or letters that denotes a variable. Okay? Or we could say it's a combination of a letter and a number. Okay? For instance, it also says here terms are separated from other terms by plus or minus sign. Okay, so this one, for example, 3x plus 4xy minus 6x squared. Now 3x is a term. Okay, do you see there's a letter and a number together? Plus 4xy, that's a multiple of a letter and a number. 4 times x times y is 4xy. That's a term. And then minus 6x squared. Well, what is 6x squared? 6x squared is a multiple of 6 times 6 times another letter. Sorry, 6 times x times another letter x. Okay, so 3x is one term, 4xy is another term, and 6x squared is another term. Okay, and they're all separated by the plus and minus sign. So in this particular expression, there are three terms. Okay, copy down that example. What about an expression? I gave it away already. An expression is just a collection of terms. So an expression never has an equal sign. Okay, so this one here, the previous example, 3x plus 4xy minus 6x squared. Now 3x is a term, 4xy is a term, 6x squared is another term. But together, when there's a plus and a minus in between them and no equal sign, we call that an expression. Okay, equation now. What is an equation? An equation is where it is possible to find the value for a variable. Okay. In other words, equations normally only have one letter in them and a sign, an equal sign. Okay. So basic definition, you can just say an equation is an expression with an equal sign. Okay. So for example, this one here, 3x plus 7 is equal to 19. Now that is called an equation. Okay. It's got the equal sign there. Formula. What is a formula? A formula is where one variable is equal to an expression in a different variable. Okay, so we can say formula is similar to an equation. Okay, but it starts off with a variable. So like the previous one, 3x plus 7 is equal to 19. That's an equation. Okay, because it's equal to a number. But our expression, our formula, sorry, it starts off with a variable. So it's basically a combination of variables, okay? So A is equal to pi r squared. It's a formula for the area of a circle. You haven't learned that yet, but hopefully maybe next year you might cover that. A is equal to, area is equal to pi r squared. So we write that down as a formula. A is equal to pi r squared. Basically, formula is just an equation, but with more of a purpose and a meaning behind it, okay, to work something out. Identity. What is an identity? Identity is basically an equation that is true no matter what values are chosen. So basically, in other words, an identity is an equation that is always true. Okay. So for example, 3a plus 2a is equal to 5a. That is what we call an identity. It's an equation, okay, but it's an equation that can't change. It is always true. Anything from the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. So 3a plus 2a is equal to 5a. There's no other answer it could be. This one here, x squared plus x squared. How many lots of x squared have we got? 2x squared. It can't be 3x squared. It can't be 2x cubed. It can't be 2x to the power of 4. You've got 1x squared, and you've got another lots of x squared. That's 2 lots of x squared you have. Okay. Now 5 times 10 is equal to also 10 times 5. Okay? When it's multiplication, you could do it the other way around. So these are all examples of an identity. It's basically an equation that is always true. Inequalities now. The word inequality means not equal. Write that down, that definition. So I'm thinking of a number greater than 3. How would I write that down? In algebra, a number, I don't know what the number is. Should we call it x? Okay? And it's greater than 3. So x is greater than sign 3. That's how you write that down, that sentence. Okay? So that's what we call an inequality. So just a few things that you need to know. That sign there, okay, means greater than. Please make a note of that. I'm thinking of a number less than 3. How would I write that down using algebra? X is less than 3. So this sign here, it means the less than sign. Okay, make a note of that as well. I'm thinking of a number greater than or equal to 3. How would I write that down? So it would be x is greater than or equal to 3. Okay, so that's also an inequality. It's not equal to each other, it's greater than or equal to. Okay, please make a note of that. And a final one, I'm thinking of a number less than or equal to 3. Okay, so x is less than or equal to 3. That is the sign. Please pause the video and copy down these examples and press play when you're ready to carry on. So we covered what an expression, a variable is, a term is, a expression, an equation, an identity, and formula, and an inequality. All of these definitions and examples, you must write them down, and you must know what they all stand for and what they all mean. Okay. Now, what I'd like you to do, please, is copy down all of these examples. And what I want you to do is write down next to it whether they are an expression or an equation or a formula or an identity or an inequality. Okay, so using the definitions that you've written down and the examples, copy down these examples and write down next to it what they are. Please pause the video and press play when you're ready to carry on. Okay, these are the answers. So an expression, an equation, a formula, identity, and an inequality. You can pause the video now to just copy down to correct it and mark it. Okay, moving on. Now let's look at, now we've covered basically the algebra terminologies, the algebra definitions that we must know. Please always recap it. You should know on top of your head what a variable stands for, what a term is, an equation, an expression, a formula, an identity, and an inequality, what they all mean. Okay. Now what we're going to be looking at is simplifying expressions. Okay, these are an expression. Remember, 2a plus b plus a plus 3b. Now 2a is a term, a b is a term, an a is a term, and 3b is another term. So we've got 4 terms in there, but it becomes an expression. Why? Because there's a plus that separates each term. Remember the definition, if there's a plus or a minus that separates each term and there's no equal sign, then this particular example here becomes a expression. Okay, so how can I simplify this? Well, this guy here, Danny, says that's as simple as it can be made. Well, he's a flop. Can't be. Okay, let's see. Leanne, what does she say? That's easy. It's just 7ab. Oh my goodness me. That's terrible. No, it's not. What about this guy, Simon? What does he say? I'm not sure, but I think it's 2ab plus 3ba. Well, he's wrong as well. What can it be to simplify this expression? It's 3a plus 4b. Dawn is absolutely correct. Okay, you got 2a plus a. Okay, you add, how many lots of a's have you got? You got 3 lots of a's. Then you got b plus the 3 b's. Then you've got 4 lots of b's. This is what collecting like terms is. Okay, you add the terms that are similar to each other. So 2a and a, they belong to the family of group A. Okay, so now those two you can collect them together, as in you can add them together. 2a plus a is equal to 3a. And then b and the 3b are also like terms, as in they look similar, they're from the same family. Okay, so you can add them together. B and you've got, if you've got b by itself, it means 1 lots of b, and then you have to add 3 lots of B, and that gives you 4 lots of B. I hope that makes sense, okay? Um, Now, okay, what I would like you to do, might not look that actually, the color of it ruins it actually. Oh no, I'll forget about it. Hopefully you can see. I gave the answer away for this one. Um, what I would like you to do, so just an example, is to add these expressions. So all the rows, all the columns, all the diagonals are equal. So you need to add them together, okay, like this. Okay. What I want you to do is have a go using this magic square. So I want you to draw the grid, copy down the expressions in each grid, and what I want you to do is add up the columns together, add up the rows together, and add up the diagonal ones together, please. So pause the video, have a go, and when you're ready to play, please carry on. Okay, so this one here, so the answer is first one is 9a plus 3b plus 3c, okay? Because you can clearly see in my first box there I've got 4a, and in my last box I've got 5a. So together it becomes 9a plus 3b plus 3c. These are the answers for the rest of them, okay? Please give yourself a mark and a tick if you got it correct, and please correct it if you haven't. One more now. Have got this one. Shit, I gave that away already. What I would like you to do now is just quickly copy down this example here. It says simplify the expression 5x plus 4y minus 2x plus 8y. Now, please pay attention here. A lot of people make a mistake when collecting like terms that involves a minus sign. So remember we said we first collect like terms. So if we've got x's, that's one term, and we've got y's, that's another term together. Okay, so we add the x terms together first. We collect the x terms first. So that becomes 5x minus 2x. So you have to be careful. The 2x in front of it is not a plus sign, it's a minus sign. So you've got 5 lots of x's, and then you're going to subtract 2 lots of x's. How many lots of x's have you got now? You've got 3 lots of x's. And then you've got 4y plus 8y, and that becomes 12y. Okay? So please copy down this example. And the way they've done it as well. So they put a square around the x terms, and then they put like a circle around the y terms, just to differentiate and to not make a mistake involving the signs. Okay, this one here now, I want you to copy now this example. It says x squared minus 4x plus 2x squared plus 8x. So now, look, we've got two terms that have an x squared with them, and we've got another two terms that has an only an x. Okay, so what do? We start off by basically circling the ones that are like terms. So we've got the 8x squared and the minus 2x squared. Okay, so 8 minus 2 gives me 6x squared, and then you do minus 4y plus the 8, sorry, minus 4x plus 8x. So what's minus 4 plus 8? That becomes plus 4x. So copy down this example. This one can be a bit tricky with the minus signs, so please do watch out for them, okay? What I would like you to do now is pause the video, have a go at these questions, and then when you're ready to carry on, press play. All right. So part A and B, I'm going to give the answers. Once you've done part C, what you need to do is just an extension. You need to fill out the blanks to make the sum correct. Okay. All right. These are the answers. Quickly mark them, please. All right. Now this will just be, we're going to wrap this up with this final slide here. What I would like you to do, now these involve shapes now and the perimeter of shapes. I want you to, starting off with the pink one at the top, simplify the expression, and then what I would like you to do is write down the perimeter of each of the 4 shapes below, okay? Remember, what does the perimeter mean? The perimeter means all the sides added up together, so the total number of sides, okay? So pause the video, have a go, and press play when you're ready to carry on. Okay, starting off with the pink one at the top. So I've got 4e. Look what they've done there. So the first part of the question is actually 4e plus 2f minus 3e plus 5f. So what you can do actually to make things easier for yourself sometimes is you can rewrite the expression where you can put the e's together and then the f's together. So what they've done here is 4e minus 3e first, okay, and then 2f plus 5f, and that'll be your answer. Sorry, that's not the answer. I apologize. It should be, sorry about that, guys. It should be E plus 5F. Okay, so that bit here should be E plus, I'm not making mistakes for E plus 7F, sorry. Okay, that should be E plus 7F. So, because 4E minus 3E is 1E, and 2F plus 5F is plus 7F. This one here now, you add the e's together and then you add the f's. That becomes 10e plus 4f. This one here, they've already laid it out for us. It's h plus h plus h plus r plus r. You've got three lots of h, that's 3h, and you've got two lots of r, that's 2r, and then you write it down as an expression, so it will be 3h plus 2r for the perimeter of that shape. What about, let's look at the red one first. So add the perimeter. It should be very straightforward, the perimeter of the red. So look, you've got four s's and one t. So that will be 4s plus t. Okay, we don't write plus 1t because t alone represents one loss of t. Okay. If you wrote 1t, it's fine, it's correct, but it's better to just write it as t alone. Now this one here, it's a good an extension question. So you add the x. So we've got an x terms, we've got y terms, and we've got z terms. So you add the x's together first. You've got 7x minus 4x, that will be 3x. And then you've got 2y plus 3y, that will be plus 5y. And then you've got 3z plus 2z, that will be plus 5z. Okay, and that's how you work it out. Please, if you haven't, correct it, copy down, draw the actual shapes in your books, and label the sides, and then copy and then write down the perimeter. Please do that, okay? All right, that'll be the end of